Hi everybody, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nicole Granucci and I'll be your lecture instructor for Physics 200 of Fall 2020. In this video what I'm going to do is talk about the syllabus, walk you through the course in terms of structure, what we're going to cover, what the course climate will be like, and then last part of the video I'll take you through Blackboard just to show you where I'm going to keep everything and how to access all the files and everything that we're going to do with this course. And then I'll see you on Thursday. So a little bit about myself, I guess you'll get to know me anyway, but I've been teaching physics for quite some time now. I think it's 14 years, 13? I don't remember. It's been more than 10 years. I've taught all over the place. I've taught high school, private, and public school. I've taught here at Southern for many years, but now I'm a full-time member at Quinnipiac University teaching their labs and their and I'm their lab instructor, lab coordinator, so I actually design all the labs there. So physics has been my life for quite some time now. I've taught this course before. I've also taught this course online, so I actually have a plethora of things that we're going to do to keep our engagement and to not make it so empty, right? Like, I know sometimes online courses can be really empty, but I'm not that type of person. We're going to be involved. We're going to do things together, and hopefully you'll gain a lot from it, including a climate that's not just like this empty course. Other things about me, so I like to play music. That's probably my #1 thing to do. I like to play piano. I play electric and string bass. I actually play string bass here on campus at Southern, although I don't know that we're going to be playing this year. I haven't found out yet. But usually I do concerts here at Southern, so I like to be an active member here. And I have a wonderful family, which I have 2 small children, which I'll definitely talk about in class because they're full of stories. You might even see them on my videos because they're just part of my life and I can't control them. You think I would, but I can't. So you'll definitely meet my children. And yeah, I like to enjoy the weather. I've been running lately. I'll tell you some stories about that too because it involves physics, as you might know. Okay, enough about me, a little bit about the course. So this course will be taught synchronous online. So in other words, it's not asynchronous. I'm not going to just post videos. I will record our videos because I know sometimes for whatever reason you can't make class. I know that life is very unpredictable right now and you might need to be home with your family right away, or you need to be home because you're sick. It's just the reality. So I will record my videos, so you'll get the video after class, but they are synchronous, so I'll be teaching live. Now, I have lots of fun little teaching tools. I don't see my tablet. Oh, here, I have it right here. Pardon me as I go in the background. Here we go. I have this thing. You will probably never see me use it. Well, you will see me use it, I'm sorry, but, you know, like, physically use it. But I have a teaching tablet, so which allows me to write on screen, so it's actually better than a whiteboard because I have infinite paper and I never have to erase anything I don't want to and all that fun stuff. So like I said, I'm pretty tech savvy. I pretty much I'm up to date on everything when it comes to technology, and we're definitely going to use it, and you'll learn a little technology as we go through our course like that. So my email is granucci_n2. Yes, there was another Granucci N. Can't believe it. I had to be #2. On campus. I'll put my other email in the Blackboard account. You can reach me at Quinnipiac. That's my main email because that's of course my main job. But this one of course I do check, so just note that. So all of my office hours are virtual this semester. So I'm going to be using the platform of Zoom. And I'll give you the Zoom link for the times here. And of course, if you need to just talk actually I found that especially in the spring, after my kids go to bed around 8 or 8:30, let's say 8:30, if you just want to talk something out real quick, you can just send me an email. As long as I'm around, I'll be happy to talk to you via Zoom, even if it's not during my office hours. I know a lot of you work your homework and stuff at night. If I'm around, you can obviously just pop in and just send me an email. Send me an email if you know you're going to be coming to my virtual office hours, just so I'm ready for you. Usually, if I don't have anybody scheduled, I'll probably like eat a sandwich or something. But if I know you're coming, I probably won't eat that sandwich at that time. So just give me a heads up. What will happen is I automatically will put you in a waiting room. So if you sign on to Zoom, give me about 10 minutes, especially if I'm working with another student. So sometimes I might be doing that. So just, be patient. Obviously come prepared to see me, but, you might have to wait a little bit. Give me the 10-minute rule. After 10 minutes, you can leave or send me an email and just, double check. Even on my best days, sometimes I do forget to check things. So just, I'm not offended if you send multiple emails and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how you can contact me. So this is our textbook. Actually, well, you're gonna see me do this live, don't mind me. Here's your class. I'm gonna do this. This is live, look at that. So as I'm typing this out, because I noticed it was missing here, we don't need it to be that big. 12, there we go. I'll put it right there. There we go. Looks good. Okay, of course you'll get the updated syllabus when you see this. So we're going to be, the most important thing about your textbook is actually not the textbook itself, but the Mastering Physics code. Now I checked your campus bookstore and I see that it is using the Night Physics, the strategic approach. And so it's interesting. I'm actually interested to see what happens here. I use modified mastering physics, but it says that it has mastering physics. So I'm pretty sure as long as you just have my course ID, it shouldn't matter if it's mastering or modified, because this is the course that you're going to sign up for, which gives you the book and the online homework. The price is $150, which of course is, not super, cheap. You can, if you can get around it, if you don't need to go to the bookstore because of scholarship money or anything, you can get the course itself, just the online part, for about $70. So you can save a lot of money just doing that. And I'm perfectly fine if you do that. You don't need the textbook, although the textbook is excellent. I'm not a person that reads a lot of textbooks personally, but I tell you that actually this textbook I have read and I found actually useful. So if you're a person that likes to read and especially reread and look up problems, this is a really good textbook. And I'll actually follow some of the lead of this textbook in terms of my lessons because I think it does such a good job. But in conclusion, you don't need the textbook for the course. You do need a modified Mastering Physics account, and you need to use my course ID. So essentially what you'll do is you'll go to something that looks like this, Mastering Physics, and then you should be able to register now as a student. You need email address, instructor ID, and some way to pay. So if you go to the bookstore, they're going to give you an access code. It's like an alphanumeric. It's probably like 20 letters long. Or you could just use a credit card. The best is just to use a credit card. So let me just put in my course ID right here. Yeah, so it says it's not accepting registrations. That's because it's not, let's see, I think I know why. Anyway, it's not the due date. In other words, class hasn't started yet. And since the class hasn't started, it won't pick it up. But you should do exactly what I just did and you won't get this error message. And then it'll ask you to create an account and then to pay. And that's how you sign up for the homework. It's actually pretty simple. I know every there's going to be issues with homework and signing up and all that fun stuff. I have to make some phone calls today, so I know that happens. But the homework should be pretty straightforward, and I'll provide a link for you in here as well. Let's go ahead and do that. Homework link to allow yourself to sign up for this course. Just move myself here. Here we go. There we go. And I put it in the wrong spot and then the wrong thing. But anyway, I'll fix that for you. Okay, let's just do that. Anyway, so that's your homework, your textbook. So naturally you'll be taking the lab course that goes with it. You'll meet your lab instructor, Sam Weiss. He is wonderful. I am so happy he is your lab instructor and I'm your lab lecturer. So he, like I said, he's a wonderful person. He'll guide you through physics lab and he'll do an excellent job with that. So you'll get more information about physics lab with that, but you'll have your 3-hour lecture, 3-hour lab, right, 3 hours, I think so, yeah. I've taught that lab before too. Well, of course I like that lab. I think that it's a really neat lab. This covers Natural World number 1 for your LEP. So my communication policy, so this is just like so you can anticipate how I'm going to communicate with you and how things will work. So here's my introductory video, a little late, but it's still prior to class. I'll send announcements regularly. You'll see me inundating you with emails and announcements just to be clear and make sure we're all on the same page. I mainly use announcements to tell you if something's changing, or like if the homework was glitched, or I'm going to do this, or everyone did well on the on the exam. So I do use it, and I do communicate pretty often. I think communication is very important, so that is my priority of the course, is to maintain that communication. My email, so my response hours are usually 24 hours if you contact me during the work week, which is from 8 to 5. So for the most part, I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I try not to leave emails. Although I do sometimes do that thing where you read the email and you answer it in your head and you never send a reply. I know you've done that before too, whether it's text or email. So, if you find that I haven't responded to you in like a couple days, that's unusual, or I just didn't see it, or I forgot, some like legit, honest reasons why I wouldn't answer your email. It's never because I'm ignoring you. Just resend it to me and I'm totally fine with that. Saturdays are my offline days. It's hard for me not to check my email because I do get them on my phone and everything like that, but I force myself not to answer emails on Saturdays for obvious reasons. I like to give myself a break. You're welcome to send me an email on Saturday. It's fine. It's just I won't get back to you until either Sunday evening or Monday morning, because I like to take a little break from things. But I am a very diligent person, and my communication, again, is really valuable, so I will get back to you. Even if it's like, I got your email, I'll get back to you. I'll say that. Because sometimes I need to look into things, especially if you give me a good question. If it's like a homework question or something, I'll text you right away, or email you right away. But if it's like my mastering physics isn't working, it might take me some time to go through it and look at it and do all that fun stuff. So anyway, the point is about 24 hours, and if not, I'll definitely talk to you on Monday or evenings on Sundays when it comes to responses to emails. You can send me email anytime, so just know that. If I do any sort of discussions, I haven't decided that yet. I check them, pretty often, every 2 days, if not more, just to keep the discussions going. When I give the exam, the way the exam will work, I'll give the exam and I'll grade it and I'll get it back to you the week after. So if you had an exam on Tuesday, you'll get it back that next Tuesday. So this is, and the finals are graded within a day just because I got to get the grades calculated like that. Homework is graded instantly using Mastering Physics, so you'll get your feedback right away. And I think I'm going to do it such that there's many different options, but this time I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take your homework grade from, so say you have 6 homework assignments and then you have your total homework grade. I'm just going to transfer that right to Blackboard, and I'll do that manually. And I'll do it after every exam. So you should see your homework grade every time you do the homework. So you should know what your homework grade is. But then I'll update Blackboard with that grade after every exam. So keep in mind that that is a dynamic grade. Every time you do homework, it changes. So, and it does affect your grade. I've had students where they started off great with homework, had 100, and then stopped doing homework and then got a 70 and then 50. And then by the time the semester ends, they're like, well, my grade really crashed. I was like, yeah, your homework is what caused that grade to crash. So just keep that in mind. It's a dynamic grade. Most people do fine in the homework. It's meant to, of course, enhance your understanding of everything. I actually make the homework questions for a majority of them, not all of them. I make them for 2 reasons. One, so it matches my lectures, because not that my way is the perfect way, but it's nice to use my way and then have a homework that uses my method of solving questions, so you will gain some skill there. But also, I know that you could look up pretty much everything online. I know Chegg, you can buy the answers to the books. I had students all pitch in on a Chegg account in the class, and then they all shared it to use the answers. Now, sure, and I know so it's helpful to look at solutions, right? Because you're learning from that. But I'll tell you right away, especially as a former student myself, it doesn't actually help. You have to practice thinking, and it's daunting because it may take time. I'll tell you that I was not the physics person that understood everything right away. I had to work for physics. All my friends were like, oh yeah, I get that. But it would take me like 5 extra tries for me to get it. But I was able to get it. And you are too. And you can do it. And you can do it without solutions. But it does take a little bit of practice. It's just like playing piano or a sport. It also takes engagement, right? So I can watch 1,000 YouTube videos on how to play the piano. That's kind of like me teaching you, right? You're watching me. But in order for you to play the piano, you have to get on to the piano and actually physically play with those keys, right? So that's why I do a lot of in-class stuff. I have you work in class because you learn by doing. You can watch me and it's helpful, but you're only going to learn when you do things. So your homework and in-class activities, that's where the learning really takes place. So with that said, that's why I designed my homework that way too. I design it so that you are thinking, that you're trying to get, using the methods that I teach you, that you are, just like a piano class, if I tell you to play C, E, G, you're going to try the same thing on the homework. If you know music, those are music notes. You may not, so I apologize. Anyway, my metaphor, you get it, right? Okay, enough about the homework. Attendance is strongly encouraged, but you're not graded on attendance. So obviously everything is very crucial in class. I'll go over things, including extra credit things that I might announce in class. We go over examples. I might tell you that this, I actually physically say this is on the exam during class. So, these are all helpful things. Now, again, I'm going to post the recorded lessons, but that's not meant to replace attending class. That's meant for all the emergencies that life brings us, right? Your car breaks down, your child care falls through, you have to go home because somebody's sick. That's what the recordings are for. They're not meant to replace my class. And it's not asynchronous. This is synchronous. So I will live teach. I will answer questions live. I will do all those things live. So it's important that you are in class. If you're going to miss a class, just let me know. I just want to know, just because I do worry about you, as such a mom. So, if I see that you're missing like 2 or 3 classes, I'm going to worry, like, is everything okay? What happened? Are you sick? Did something happen to you? I'm going to make sure that you are okay. So just let me know. And if you need, I know sometimes you can't send me that email right away, but, maybe a couple hours later, like, oh, I'm sorry, this came up and I wasn't in class. It's just really nice. Then I know you're okay. I know, such a mom thing. It is, but it's true. And this whole personal emergency thing, same thing. Just let me know if you need my help for anything. This is what it's all about. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to get you. That's not what it's about. So if you need to miss a couple classes, I'll help you. So just keep me in the line, keep communicating, and let me know. Class work, just like I said, you learn by doing. So we will have class activities, problems. I'll do demonstrations. We'll practice. So we'll do lots of things to engage in your learning. So just know that. So the way your homework will work is that, let's see if I can bring up a homework. So let me do this. So, I have your entire semester's homework planned, even though there's only one here. That's because I want to make sure, I usually go through the homework to make sure everything works and that everything is, because my lectures change every semester, so sometimes I have to go in and make sure that that the homework matches the lectures. So I usually assign your homework a little before, just to make sure that everything's matching. So these are actually questions that I actually made myself. So let's do the student view actually, just so you can see. So your homework will be a mix of sorting, multiple choice, calculation, because you're learning concepts and calculation. So here's a sorting question. It asks you to take these things and put them in the right bins. I'm just blindly doing this. This is not the answer. Like that. And so what's going to happen is, for every time you get the question wrong, it's 5% off. So if you submit this is technically wrong, I'll tell you that. The homework now, the highest grade you can get on this one assignment is 95. So if you submit it again, it's 90, 85, 80. So if you click multiple times, obviously you can get to 0 at some point. But the point is, you know, 5% still gives you an A if you make one mistake, right? That's fine. If you're making like 6 or 7 mistakes, then there's something, either you need to reach out for help or let me know. So you get 5% penalty for every wrong answer. When it comes to calculations, I did it again. Let's go back to student view. Calculations, you have unlimited attempts. So, you know, you have to do this to, let's just do a silly answer like that. What? Why did it say that was correct? That's so weird. Now I'm going to try this again. 173 centimeters. Oh, interesting. Okay, so something's wrong here, but I'll check this out. I don't know why it's doing that. It's so bizarre. Anyway, previous answer. Why did I mark it correct? I've never seen this. I think I have to play with some settings. But anyway, the point is, you could type in your answer. This is, I can't even, like, this is so weird that it did this. So, anyway. So what happens is if you submit and it says it's wrong, it won't deduct any points with these types of questions. Now you can, and that's true if you put in the wrong units. Let's see if it's, yeah, see. So no credit is lost. So let's just put the number 1. So again, so you have unlimited attempts before this starts marking it wrong. The only way you'll lose credit is if you click request answer, okay? I know sometimes it's like, you know, 12 o'clock at night and you're tired and you don't care anymore and you just want to know what the answer is and you request it. That's fine. I get it. I've been there. But just know that it will take off full credit for that one question. Now, every question's worth a different point value. If you go to student view, it tells you how many points. So clearly this one's worth more than this one. There's sometimes ones for extra credit, and there's sometimes one that says practice, which is no credit. So there's lots of things. So the grading policy is shown right here. Some credit is lost. So you can do your homework late, you know. It's 10% off per day late. So if you missed the deadline of midnight by one day, you could still get on a 90% the next day. So it's still worth doing it even if you are late on the homework assignment. But that's how it's graded. It's 10% off a day until 50%. After that, it's you still can do the homework to the end of the semester for half credit. So it's still worth doing it. If something's preventing you from doing your homework, once again, just let me know, and I'm happy to give you an extension on it. I'd rather you do it, even if something comes up, and do it a little later than not to do it at all. So you're going to get a couple days to do the homeworks because the information will be more fresh in your mind. So Tuesday's homework is due Thursday by midnight, and then Thursday's homework is due Monday because I don't count the weekend. So you have Friday to Monday, basically, to do your homework. So unless you want the weekend, but the weekend is not counting, which is why it's like that, and then it's due by midnight. I highly recommend, especially for a course like this, with it's all calculation based, that you print out the homework. You can do that. So let's go to student view. So there's a button right here that says print. Well, I can't stress this enough. It is so much better for you and your understanding to print this out and do it first, and then kind of use this as like a grading system as opposed to doing it. When I took some graduate courses and I was required to do a mastering physics too, I found that I was always just punching numbers in a calculator and never remembering what I'm doing. Of course, that's what you need to do. So I would print off the homework, even though it's a paper, and I know, but it's totally valuable. Print it off, do it on paper, and then submit your answers and check that way. So this way you have a running log of how to do the questions, what you got wrong, especially with multiple choice. I don't think there's any here. But what happens is, you know, I like to know what answers I get wrong so that I don't make them again, right? So that's actually a good thing too. And that's why printing it off is good, because if you get it wrong, when you print it off, you could write in the right answer and notice why you were wrong before. good tactic right there when it comes down to doing this. So actually I lost my account here. So I'll let that load up. So you'll have 4 exams. They're all fixed. So in other words, when I show you our course content, the date of that exam will remain no matter what we cover. I will change the content of the exam before I change the date. So whatever I don't cover, I'm usually slower than my syllabus, I'll just be honest. I'll just push it to the next exam. So the exam content will definitely change when we do that. So you'll have 4 exams, and I'll talk more about those when they come closer. So you're expected to take the exams during our class time. So yes, your exams will be synchronous online and during our class time for 1 hour and 15. So if you can't make the exam because of some approved absence, let me know. But if you miss the exam, you have about 24 hours to let me know what happened and the reasons for the absence. So if you don't let me know within 24 hours, you will get a 0 on that exam. If you're sick, I get it. Maybe you wake up and you got the stomach bug that day. You don't have to say much. Just say, I'm sick, I can't make today's exam, and that's fine. We could schedule a makeup. You will have a week to make up that exam because I want to get the exams back by the following week. If you're sick and you cannot make up the makeup within a week, then what's going to happen is I'm just going to replace that exam grade with your final grade. So say you get an 89 on the final, that will replace your missing exam 1 grade. I will do that once. So if you have more than 1 absence, then you'll get 0s unless, of course, something happens. You know, I understand that life's happened. This is saying if you blatantly miss an exam, you only have 1 try and chance to make it up, kind of. And yeah, so that's my exam policy. We'll talk more about exams when the exams come. There's no extra credit assigned to anybody for any individual, but I will probably put extra credit questions on homework and exams that is open to everybody. So in other words, if you are failing the class, you cannot do extra assignments to bring up your grade. Just take the extra credit assignments as they come. Your final will be given during final week. I'll talk about it when it comes. So your homework is 20, your final is 20, and your exams are 60. So the bulk of your grade is your exams. And some accommodations and ADA. So if you have any accommodations, let me know. Of course, most of you are very diligent about that. Of course, if you have other things that are very helpful for me to know about in terms of your learning, please let me know. This is an inclusive classroom, and I will make sure that you are in a comfortable environment and all those fun things. So please know that I'm here to work with you. In addition, integrity is a huge problem, especially online. I know I know what people can do with the technology and online. So obviously, I'm creating my exams, so reducing the fact that you have the chance to look things up or talk to one another via cell phone. Trust me, I know. People are texting each other during exams. I mean, it's pretty simple if you think about it. But like I said, I'm designing my exams, so it is hard to do those things. And I get your knowledge and not somebody else's knowledge. But if I find that your knowledge is, or if I find that your exam is the same as another person's, and not just by like exact the same, like physics is really interesting because I can tell if you use somebody else's work because there's multiple ways to solve questions, and if you make the same mistakes, it's blatantly obvious that you've got your answer from somebody else. In fact, I've used that before to go to academic integrity and file a complaint. Now, I'm not doing this to be mean or to be aggressive. I'm doing this one because it's the right thing to do, but more importantly, it's to protect each other and your fellow classmates. I would be so mad if I said, nope, I got to study for this really hard test and didn't do all the things I wanted to do that weekend because I spent time on that test and then found out that everyone had the exam answers and were doing them instead. I would be mad. I'd be like, man, I just gave up my weekend and you had the answers the whole time. So that's why I do it. I do it for you. I do it to protect you and others. I have done academic integrity files before. It has to be an obvious grievance when I do this. And I, again, just honest, I'll be honest, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say, abiding citizens or something like that. Anyway, the point is, just do your own work and you're fine. If you're doing something that's not as serious, well, everything's serious, but, you know, if you hand in a paper and it looks like somebody else's, I'll definitely call you on that and say, hey, you know, your voice sounds exactly the same as so-and-so's voice, you need to fix this. But I don't have the opportunity for exams. Exams is you've made that choice. So just be aware of that, okay? And I'll let you go, you know, if I have to file an academic integrity form, you will be notified and all that fun stuff. So here is my fall schedule. This is my intention. Of course, my intentions may not match what what actually happened. So the last couple classes might get pushed back, which is fine. But we're going to cover a typical course, which is kinematics and motion. We're going to do Newton's law, circular motion, and gravitation. We're going to do conservation of energy and momentum, rotational analysis, spring systems, and fluids. And of course, like I said, these exam dates are fixed. So you can put it in your calendar right now that 9/17 is in fact your first exam, regardless of what I covered. So if you notice, I even put in a buffer day. I never go faster than usual, so I anticipate that I'll go slower. So if I might even need an extra day on, you know, projectiles, and that allows me to do that. But we're going to have this scheduled exam on that day, and it's during our class time. Everything is synchronous about this course. There's nothing asynchronous other than, I guess, our homework. It's not really like on the same time, but you know what I mean. With that, I also put in important dates, mostly for me, but you know, good for you. Days that you can withdraw from the course with, you know, 60% refund. This is, I think, 90% refund, etc. like that, just so you know. Around midterm week, I think actually your date might be this, but anyway, this is about midterm week, like that, and the 4 exams. So exam 4 is going to be pretty short because I'm only going to cover a certain amount of things, and I didn't want to give you an exam before your final, so it is what it is. With that, so that is our course. I was going back to Blackboard. Let me do that and just show you a couple things on Blackboard. Okay, so you'll see in a moment I'll be posting this video online, and you'll see the announcement for it. This is all about me, including my schedule. So you know, if you wanted to plan a Zoom time, you can notice that my Mondays, Wednesdays are pretty busy times. I'm teaching at Quinnipiac during those times. You're the green one right here. And yeah, so you can see my schedule. The syllabus is here. I'm going to update that link, my communication plan, and what I just showed you here. This is where I'll keep all of our, anything that involves the unit. So this is broken down into unit and then to lectures. So all of these will be populated once the course starts. So our first lecture is here with the first PowerPoint, and then I'll put the lecture recording here and any additional information. This is my Quinnipiac course, and I've already started. So it's going to kind of look like this, where you have your homework. Actually, I may not link your homework. I haven't decided that yet. But the video, your homework, extra stuff. Let's see. Let's see what's a good one. So anyway, the point is you'll have all your stuff. This is, of course, not populated here. And you'll see it's very similar in terms of the layout. So this is where you find everything per class, per lecture. Your homework information, including the course ID, the book itself, the due dates, the grading policy, and how to troubleshoot is all right here. If you are having an issue, please send me a screenshot of your problem. I could see a lot on the instructor end, but it looks different on the student end. So sometimes I can't actually see what you see. So sending that screenshot is really helpful, because then I usually could figure it out, especially if the problem is grading it wrong, which it does sometimes. So just know that. If you feel like you're like going crazy because you know you're doing it right, it's probably because you are. So just let me know and send a screenshot. So we're going to do some classwork. So usually what I would have you do normally in a physical classroom is have you write things down and pass it to me. Well, we're not going to do that. So we're going to do the same thing with journals. Journals are very simple. You create an entry, it's the same thing. So if I ask you all to write about something, you'll put it right here. This is so you're engaged and you're learning. These are not graded, but like I said, it's practice. We need to practice some of these things, and this is your canvas for that. When we have our exams, I'll put all the exam materials here, including a practice exam, stuff on equations, whatever you need will go here. This is our Zoom meeting. I'm doing it through Quinnipiac because it's just easier, to be honest. You should just be able to click this link. You'll be in a waiting room until I let you in, and then that will be it. Or you can type in the meeting ID. So really all you need to do is click this. It's pretty straightforward. And same thing with my office hours. You should just be able to click this link. There should be no thought. Or if you need to, you can click on the meeting ID. So those are the times. This is also my Quinnipiac meeting hours. So you will be competing with them, but honestly, it should be fine. I usually don't have a line of people. Other than this is self-explanatory, your grades. So your grade will be calculated live throughout the whole semester. So every time I import a grade, your grade will be calculated. Please keep in mind that it's dynamic, but at any one point does it reflect your final grade. So like I said, you know, if I have 3 assignments, maybe you have 1 exam and 2 failing homework assignments, and you have a C in the course. Just remember that it's only 3 assignments and you have way more assignments than that. So just keep that in mind. I know people get worried, and you should, excuse me, about your grades, but just know that it is a dynamic thing like that. Okay, so yeah, that concludes the intro to the course. Like I said, I'll start right on Thursday. We'll start with this lecture, Intro to Physics and Intro to Measurement, and we'll talk a little bit about what physics is and what to expect, and then we'll talk a little bit about some basic tools. I assume this is all review, but I'd like to start on the same page and make sure we all are pretty clear as we go to this. Now, one more thing before I move on and leave. Actually, let me go to syllabus. Actually, this is a lot nicer here. So just FYI, what happens is the course kind of does like, the course will start off pretty simple, and then it'll get hard right around projectiles, stay pretty hard around Newton's laws, and then go back down to something a little easier during energy, momentum. And then I would say, honestly, the hardest stuff is right here. This is like this is where you're gonna question physics. And I'm not telling you to scare you at all. I am going to help you through it. I'm just telling you that this stuff gets difficult very quickly, and to mentally just be ready for it. You can do this, so just know that. But rotation, torque, and Newton's second laws are probably some of the harder things in projectiles that you're going to be doing in the course. And I say that because usually the first 2 lessons, you're like, I got this, you know, this is too easy. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, what happened? So I just want to prepare you for that. And like I said, I'm here this is my job. This is what I want to do, is prepare you to learn about physics and give you the skills and things that you need to be successful in the course. So I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday, our first day of class, and I hope you have a wonderful first day of class on Wednesday, and I look forward to meeting you all. I'll see you then.